Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. So first and foremost, thank you so much for 1 million subscribers. It means the world to us, to me and my family. All the love and support that you have given us, deeply appreciate it. So thank you so much again. It truly means the world to us. So before moving on to the core video for today, now there is a very special announcement that is coming up. I'll make the announcement on the post. So please keep an eye out for the community tab post. I will explain more details there. Now, before moving on to the core video for today, just a very quick announcement that there is a lot of panic that is happening in the crypto market as of now. A lot of people are panicking because of the Terra Luna situation. I'll make a video tomorrow, so please wait for it. Please do not panic sell. Please do not take extreme drastic steps as of now. There is something very fundamental going on. I will speak about it. You don't need to worry about it. That's the main message that I want to give out. So over to today's video. So don't you think that as a corporate employee, so not just necessarily HUL, but whichever companies are increasing prices of their product, at least it should reflect in your bottom line also in form of salary. On today's video, we are going to discuss how to double your money in 21 days. Natural question, why are you wearing goggles? Because whenever people try to tell you such schemes, they try to look cool like this guy. So therefore, I'm also trying to look cool. But let me get into serious mode. So in this day and age, everyone wants fast car, fast money, fast career, whatnot. Everything fast, everything fast. In fact, when I make videos, I get comments like that, Akshat, why are you making like 25-minute videos? Noora Fatehi makes only 3-minute videos and get millions of views. And here you are spending so much time, effort, energy in making 25-minute videos. You're crazy. Just make short videos. So the point is that we live in a world where we are fascinated with fast things. So I thought that, hey, why not make one video where I collate all the ideas where you can make really fast money. These are dangerous methods, no doubt about that. But at least you will get a sense of what needs to be done versus not in case you're looking to make fast money. So I will show you and talk about 6 methods where you can double your money within a year, within a few quarters, and in fact within a few days also. So let us get the discussion started. First and foremost way of making really fast money is that you go invest in penny stocks. Should you do it? I don't know. I can't say. I can just give you data. So here's some data. So this was data from last year. You can clearly see that there were companies that gave even up to 5,000% return. Some stocks gave even 9,000% return. So these are called as multi-baggers. The fundamental understanding that you need to have is threefold. I have in fact made a complete video on penny stocks. You can go check it out. That will give you more understanding. But I'm summarizing some of the key points. So first and foremost, penny stocks are super dangerous. They are not just dangerous. They are super dangerous. Why am I saying it? Because think about it this way, that there are roughly 8,000 companies that are listed on NSE and BSE. Now within that NSE BSE companies, there are different tiers. For example, there is like blue chip stocks, and there is small cap, then there is mid cap, and then finally come penny stocks. There is no standard definition of penny stocks, but these are basically pitai type of stocks. People don't generally trust them, but they have the potential to go really big because these are very small companies and they can go big very fast. So therefore, they end up giving crazy returns like these. The important point that you need to know as an investor is that very few penny stocks are going to survive. Yes, I showed you this list that, hey, you know what, amazing gains, 5,000%, 10,000%, whatnot. But yeah, there is a greater number of penny stocks that fail completely as well. So please be cognizant of that. Please understand that whenever you are investing in penny stocks, you are taking massive amount of risk. Third and final point, that very few penny stocks move due to fundamentals. It's not as if that, you know, companies generating like excellent revenues, profits, some fundamental change has happened, all that stuff. These mostly move due to investor interest. For example, if some big fat shark has taken position in some penny stock, that penny stock or that penny company is going to move. And it might move quite aggressively if more big fat sharks are jumping onto the bandwagon. So the point that I want to drive home is fairly simple, that penny stock playing game is very dangerous. You might lose a lot of capital. You don't have useful information to begin with, or at least you don't have insider information like many other big players. So the game is rigged against you. You just need to be super lucky to have identified some of the penny stocks. So if some scammers in the comment section and they keep on commenting that, hey, you know what, join our Telegram channel, we will tell you this, that. First and foremost, I am not giving out that information. People are just ripping off my profile pics and asking you to invest. So please don't trust them. Please only look at pinned comments and description box. That is genuine information that is coming out from my end. Also, please don't join scam Telegram channels. You will get scammed. yeah, please just don't do it. Please don't pay people money to give out stock recommendations on penny stocks. It's not going to work out. But yes, can you double your money in 21 days? 100% yes. Now, many of you would give me a counter argument that Akshat, you know what? In 2022 also, we read a recent article that when markets are going down, penny stocks like these are going bonkers. They are giving like crazy amount of returns. And there are 18 penny stocks that have turned multi-baggers. So what do you have to say? Again, I'll point you to the same data that there are approximately 8,000 companies on NSE plus BSE combined. How many of those stocks gave multi-bagger returns? So you will not have a good answer there. You might struggle. So very, very important to understand this point. And I am stressing this point a lot because a lot of you are fascinated by penny stocks. So this is point one. Can you double your money in 21 days like Akshay Kumar? Yes, you can 100% do it, but this is a super risky game. So now you would say that, okay, fine, you know what? We will not invest in penny stocks. Not tell us something useful where we can increase our earning potential, increase our money in a very short span of time. Okay, so this according to me is one of the most sensible methods. It is called as switching your job. I had made a separate video on this. Studies tell us that if you switch your job, you stand to make more money vis-a-vis staying at your firm and asking for a pay raise. In fact, there was a LinkedIn survey that was done and it categorically pointed out to the fact that approximately 82% Indians want to leave their jobs because of a wide range of factors, but one of the primary factors being the lack of pay, or they feel that they are not getting paid enough. And those same people, if they are able to go and make a successful switch to a different job, their salary is going to go up. So the important message that I want to drive home, and this is a point that I keep on bringing up because many of you are working and I want you to maximize your salaries. So every 2-3 years, please figure out a way to switch your jobs, especially if you feel suffocated in your job. And if your HR keeps saying that kalana, and he or she does not listen to you and keep giving you excuses that in 2020 there was corona, how can we increase your salary? In 2022, there is inflation. How can we increase your salary? Every year, there will be something or the other macroeconomic issue. Please don't wait on your company in case they are not increasing your salary. You deserve a basic salary rise, according to me. And do tell me in the comment box. I genuinely feel that government should come out with a mandate where they make it absolutely clear that your salaries should at least be adjusted as per inflation. This is such a commonsensical thing. I don't know why there is no mandate to it. There have been so many talks about like different government rulings on private companies that put a certain quota, etc. But adjusting your salary as per inflation is such a basic thing to do. And let me give you rational argument to that as well. So let us understand that point by using the example of Hindustan Unilever. So Hindustan Unilever, since last year, it has been constantly increasing the prices of its product. Why? Because if you go and ask the management, their answer is that, you know what, inflation is going up. Therefore, we are increasing the prices of our product. And they have increased prices of some of their product between 12 to 20%. So don't you think that as a corporate employee, so not just necessarily HUL, but whichever companies are increasing prices of their product, at least it should reflect in your bottom line also in form of salary. So that is the simple basic argument that according to me should be instituted, and government should take a very basic look at this point. So let me leave you with 3 basic points about job switching. It might help you a lot, especially in this economy. So first and foremost, whenever you are deciding to change your job, try to change your job during an upswing. So what does upswing mean? Upswing means that the economy is trying to expand from this point. So for example, right now, there is an upswing in the job market. Job market is not shrinking. More and more companies are looking to hire because they want to produce more. So they want to expand their capacities. So this is an upswing market. It is probably one of the best times to make a switch in your job. This is point 1. Point 2, move towards growth sector. So I love to give this example that if you are in tech, if you are in product management, if you are a developer, try to move to crypto-based startups, blockchain-based startups, front-end tech startups. Why? Because these are growth sectors. A lot of money is coming into this sector. And if you can align your career, for example, from being a software developer, if you can learn coding, improve your coding skills, move to blockchain development technology, you can get crazy amount of jump. Can you double your salary? I would say yes. There is a very, very high probability you can literally double your salary. Now comes the third and final point that, hey, how do I create a list of companies where I should be applying? So very easy. Look at companies that have recently gotten funded. So these are companies that have gotten funded. They will look to expand further. They will be okay hiring talent at a slightly premium prices, and you can benefit from that trend. Go and scout your opportunities in the job market. And if you get a good job, do come back and tell us in the comment box. It will give a lot of hope to a lot of people people who are reading through the comments. So I hope you take that idea seriously. Now you will say that, Akshat, you know what? You spoke about investing in penny stocks. You talked about changing your jobs. This requires a lot of effort, right? I mean, searching for penny stocks, going, applying for jobs, meeting HRs, taking rejections, and then posting funny jokes about them on LinkedIn. It takes and sucks my energy out, right? So this is not something that I want to do. I want to continue with my job. I don't want to look at the penny stocks route. What else can I do? Okay. So I keep on talking about something called as ICO. So let me give you a little bit more information on that topic. So ICO means initial coin offering. They are now termed as IEOs or initial exchange offerings. What are these? These are very similar to IPOs. In the stock market, we have IPOs. In crypto market, we have something called as ICO or IEOs. So there is a very strong parallel between these two things. Now, the good thing about investing in ICO or IEOs is there are three very critical points that I want to take you through. So first and foremost, several very strong ICO projects have been launched in the past. For example, Ethereum, which is now number 2 ranked cryptocurrency in the world, it was launched as an ICO and it grew to be insanely big. So the amount of returns that people made, if they would have held something like Ethereum from ICO stage to now, it would have been million% return, which is absolutely crazy. So no other investment in the world would have given so much returns. Second key point is that there is no asymmetric information. For example, if you are going and trying to buy penny stocks, a lot of big fat investors in India, they are well connected and they get insider information. That is a fact. I'm being blunt with you. But they can't manipulate the market when it comes to ICOs or IEOs. So this is point 2. Point number 3 is that majority of the projects here are scam. I agree. There are 99% projects that will be scam, but they can be scouted really well. Now, there are two ways to scout IPOs in a sensible way. One is that it is done automatically for you. So the meaning of IEO is initial exchange offering. For example, there are a lot of exchanges like Binance, and whatever projects are getting listed on their exchange or through their launchpad, it gets scouted by the Binance team itself. So automatically that prevents majority of the scams that are happening. So if you are going via that, then the chances of you getting scammed gets lowered substantially. Second, if you learn how to read the white paper, then it is very easy to spot what is a scam versus not. I'm not saying that you will have a 100% hit rate in terms of your success, in terms of investing in ICOs or IEOs, but the chances of you succeeding is much, much higher compared to anything else when it comes to in this type of penny investing. So here is an example of Chili's token. They have also launched their NFTs and a bunch of other additional things that can be played with. So this was a project that ICO'd sometime in 2019, right? And then in approximately 6 months, it went up by how much? Approximately 12 times. So that is one example. So let me pick another example. So this is Kasuma. So it launched somewhere in 2019. Towards the end of 2019, and within a few months here itself, its price moved by how much? Almost 4 times. So the point I'm trying to make is that if you do this type of ICO analysis or IEO analysis for a bunch of coins, you will see a much higher success rate. It would be close to 15%, 20%. So the success rate of ICO investing is much, much greater right now compared to penny stock investing. So can your money get doubled? Yes. In fact, in 21 days, your money can get doubled, even 4x or 5x also. Should you be doing it blindly? Absolutely not. You should be aware of the risk, and a little bit of speculative money can be put into this. For example, recently some companies launched their NFTs. For example, Make My Trip launched its NFTs. I purchased a couple of those just for speculation purpose, nothing else. Now in India, I have invested in a company called as Totality Corp. They launched an NFT and it did fairly well. They are coming out with another layer of NFTs. If you read the white paper, if you find it to be sensible, you could consider taking some positions in it. So the important point is that you must follow the Discord community, you must follow the Telegram channel, you must look at the founder's profile and do your due diligence before you start investing your money in ICOs, NFTs, penny stocks, etc. Now many of you will say that, Akshat, you know what? You keep on talking about cryptos. Cryptos are MLM, multi-level marketing. Then I asked them, okay, why do you feel that it's MLM? Because there are people just buying, and it's a topi penawing game that one person will buy, try to sell it off and try to Ponzi it off onto another person. Okay, so let me help you understand this MLM game, because there has been so much talk on MLM schemes. So let me tell you how MLM schemes traditionally work. So let's pick the example of Sahara, right? So Sahara ran a Ponzi scheme. It was a chit fund that Sahara ran, and they got embroiled in a lot of problems. And Mr. Subrata Roy Sahara, he even went to jail for that. So let me explain you the semantics behind it. So step 1 in a Ponzi scheme is that investors come to you and talk about guaranteed returns. For example, in case of Sahara chit fund, the we guarantee returns for promise. That hey, we are going to pay you 35% guaranteed returns. Akshay Kumar also promised the same, that you know what, 21 दिन में पैसे double, 100% return is going to be guaranteed. There is no promise of guarantees in cryptocurrencies. I don't know where this entire hype started. People, they confused it with the fact that investors ended up saying that, you know what, people made up to 100% return on cryptos, which was true, which is not a lie. No set of promise returns were made ever on cryptocurrencies. That is a basic fact. Now comes the second layer of the scam. So what ends up happening is that you have lead promoters who take a little bit of position, and for example, if this person invests, let's say 1,000 rupees, and his 1,000 rupees becomes like 20,000 rupees, and this person withdraws the money and then starts telling everyone that, you know what, I made a profit of 19,000 rupees from this scheme. But at this stage, an important point to notice that this person exited the scheme, right? And then he is recruiting these people further. They also come in, they also give 1,000 rupees and convert this into 20,000 rupees. They also make 19,000 rupees. How? By taking a complete exit. Then they go and tell more people, and this cycle repeats. And at the last stage, when a lot of people have become a part of this scheme, these investors make money and the other investors unfortunately fall. Now think about this, that a lot of people called Michael Saylor a scam artist and whatnot. Why? Because he is promoting cryptocurrencies. But you can go, he runs a publicly listed company called as MicroStrategy, and look at his Bitcoin holding. It is one thing to be just blindly promoting something vis-a-vis putting in your own money that can be verified. So this is the primary difference between Ponzi scheme and non-Ponzi schemes. So do I think that cryptos are a Ponzi scheme? The answer is no. I don't think cryptos are a Ponzi scheme. 99% of cryptos are bad. I have said it multiple times on my channel. Why they are bad? Because they are decentralized. So anyone can come in and they can start their own cryptocurrency, so to say, because they are decentralized. But if you as an investor are giving money to these bad cryptocurrencies, it is your fault, because you're not analyzing stuff at all. You are just playing speculation game without even understanding the head and tail of that asset. So please don't do that. 99% cryptocurrencies are scam because they are decentralized. They are easy to create. But 1% that are there, they are very good. They are not MLM scheme. Same applies to stocks also. That approximately, according to a study, 83% of small medium enterprises in 2020 did not turn even 1 rupee of profit. So would you call them a scam? The answer is no. They are businesses. They are unable to function. They are probably bad businesses, so to say. So you as an investor need to develop your own investment thesis, not to invest in these 83% of companies, but rather invest in the remaining 17. So that is the bottom line that you need to keep in mind. And yes, you can again double your money in MLM scheme if you are an early mover and you are able to make some money and exit that Ponzi scheme on the right time. Now comes the fifth and very interesting way of doubling your money. It is to invest in early stage companies. I have personally doubled my money at least in 3 of my investments so far. Now there is a lot of craze in terms of retail investors jumping into unlisted companies. So you keep on getting an ad from a bunch of different organizations that are trying to project that, hey, you as retail investors can invest in startups. I would say that there are merits and demerits to that argument. So let me outline some of the salient points so that you understand this picture holistically. So there are 3 key points that you need to understand as a retail investor if you're looking to invest in unlisted companies. First and foremost, there is huge difference between big investors and small or retail investors. Why? Because majority of the big investors, for example, a bunch of VCs and large angel investors, they get a lot of useful information and they get better deals than you. Why? Because when you are going and investing via different platforms that allow retail investors to invest in startups, if you go via that, you assume that, you know what, if XYZ big person is investing in a particular startup, let's say startup X, then you are also getting the same deal and that big guy is also getting the same deal. The answer is no. This big investor would have invested in that new age company or new startup very, very early. So the type of deal that big investor would have got would be much, much, much better compared to what you would be getting as a small retail investor. So this is the first problem. Second key problem is the information asymmetry. Many a times what has happened in the past is that when Series A, so Series A, B, C simply means that successive rounds of funding are happening. A company might raise a Series A of 20 million, right? Then Series B of, 40 million, then 100 million. So the amount of money keeps on going up here. So a big investor gets useful information about this entire space and he or she can make that that decision to stay from Series A to Series B to Series C if given an option. But you might not even get that relevant information. So there is huge information asymmetry. Third and final point is that fact checking for you as a retail investor is almost impossible. You can't go to a newly listed startup, look at its financial and make a call whether that startup is genuine or not. You will have zero information about that. By the time information reaches you, any bad piece of information, all the big investors would have already exited if they could have, right? So the important point is that this fact checking becomes really tough. There are platforms that are democratizing this space. After some due diligence, I'll make some videos on this topic. But as of now, I can't say whether they are fact checking these things thoroughly or not. But yes, can you double your money in 21 days via investing in early stage startups? Theoretically, yes, you can do that, because as soon as different startups move from Series A to B to C, there are gains to be made, right? You might not be able to liquidate those gains very quickly, but in theory, you would have doubled your money. That definitely does work out. Now comes the sixth and final point, which is a funny point. This brings me to the story of 21 दिन में पैसे double, which is Akshay Kumar's strategy of doubling his money. So there is a very interesting anecdote that he did the Vimal Ilaichi or Vimal Pan Masala, whatever we call it. It's ad, and he charged insane amount of money to do it. Then he started getting a lot of heat that, you know what, you are like a fitness guy. And then how can you do advertisements for these type of companies like Vimal, tobacco products, cigarette products, this, that. So Akshay Kumar issued an apology. So now are you seeing the game behind the scene? So the game behind the scene. So the game is fairly simple. It is called as cashing in the controversy. So this happens through multiple ways. So I'll explain you by using Akshay Kumar's case. So he must have charged Vimal Ilaichi, Vimal Pan Masala a lot of money. I'm saying must. I'm using conditional statements so I don't get sued. So he must have charged Vimal Pan Masala a lot of money for the ad. Then a lot of publicity got there that, you know what, Akshay Kumar did this ad. He got a lot of heat also. Then he encashed that controversy, finally issued an apology. Now, do you think that he would not have charged extra for it? I will leave it to your imagination. I will not say anything beyond this point. We live in a world where controversies can be encashed. Here is a classic case in point about a serial called as Bigg Boss. I don't know how many Bigg Boss fans are here, but I have not watched it ever in my show, but I know about it, that hey, there is a show called as Bigg Boss. Now, in a certain year, Bigg Boss's TRP were getting down and people were so worried. Fans got so worried that, you know what, if Bigg Boss shut down, what will we do with our time? We will have to watch like Akshat's video and gain knowledge. What will happen to us then? No. So then they started giving opinions on Twitter. This is how Bigg Boss can create more controversies and keep the users engaged. So yeah, that's called as having loyal fan base who are telling a show on how to create more and more controversies to keep people engaged. So this entire controversy market is really big and people are literally doubling their money in 21 days. And Akshay Kumar is fortunately or unfortunately a prime example of that. I'm just putting in all the options in front of you. So in summary, there are legitimate and really bad ways of doubling your money in 21 days. My personal opinion is that, hey, adopt like slow growth mentality. There is no harm in making 12 to 15% return on your portfolio. If you're putting your money in any of these speculative assets, so to say, do it by doing proper due diligence, research, and take logical bets. That's the most important part, and allocate only a little bit of your portfolio. I hope you enjoyed the video and I will see you tomorrow.